Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the next session. I am Kalman Makay from the channel team, and on today I will moderate our events. The WebEx session's topic is Unlocking Application Monitoring with DX APM and DX AXA. Our special guest and the presenter is Prasath Kanagaraj, a dedicated product professional. He will guide you on today. And in the next 60 minutes on the presentation level, Prasath will share you the details about the product. The event, as always, will be recorded and later we will share the recording with you. If you have any question, then please use the chat window because everybody is muted. Prasath, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Kalman. Thanks for the quick intro. Let me share my screen. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, visible.
Great. So good morning, everyone. So I am Prasath Kanagaraj, a pre-sales consultant with MBCom. Let me know if my voice is audible and clear.
Yes, we hear you.
Great. Thank you, Kalman, again. Thanks again, and thanks everyone for joining for today's webinar. We are going to explore, how Broadcom DX APM and App Experience Analytics would give you powerful insights into the application and end user experience. So for example, whether you're dealing with performance issues, outages, or just want to be, better understand how the users interact with your application. So this session, it will provide you the actionable insights, and I will also try to demonstrate how the DX APM and AXA can simplify, the complex IT challenges you face in the real time. So here is the agenda for today. So we'll start with introduction to APM. So what it is and why it matters. So next we will look onto the architecture and the key features that make it stand out from our competitors. So we'll also go through how to onboard the application, how to manage the agent, the monitoring agent. Then we will shift gears and talk about DX App Experience Analytics, which will focus on monitoring the real user experience. I will also walk you through the funnel analytics, flow tracking, and also how the session replay works on. So, and towards the end, we will look at the alerts, dashboards, and wrap it up with the Q&A session. So I will encourage you to note down if you have any questions you have, and we will cover them at the end. So if you have anything which needs to be, addressed right away, feel free to jump in. We will discuss about that as well. So let's start with the DX APM. So imagine you're responsible for ensuring that the business critical applications which are running on your the organization. So we need to ensure that all the applications should be running smoothly. So we want to know what users are experiencing, how the application is performing, where there are where there may be a back-end issue, front-end issue. So we need to analyze that. So that's where the DX APM comes into picture. So it gives you the end-to-end observability across all your application technology stacks. Maybe if it is a front end, if it's a back end, if it is a user interference, all the way to the backend servers. So it helps us the operations, it helps us the developers and the support teams, so to quickly pinpoint and fix the performance issues. So it's more than just the metrics or the events. So it's more than that. So it connect all the dots you can see on the full picture. So this is where the comprehensive set of monitoring tools works from the end to end. So we cover the browser rendering times. So this is the three components. One is the AXA, real user monitoring. One is the app centric monitoring with the synthetic monitoring, where we simulate the performance to track the performance of the users. So we also have the application where the in-house applications are getting monitored to that. So as I mentioned, so we cover the browser rendering times, API response duration, the business transaction, the timing of it. So even the synthetic tests. For example, if a user in the organization or outside the organization, if he is a user customer to us and he complains about the slow transaction, he may be performing any kind of a transaction. Maybe he might be trying to use the e-commerce website and trying to add the product into the cart, or maybe he's trying a banking application where he wants to send the data, or he wants to send the amount, or he wants to do a transaction in that. So there may be a slow transaction, the user will be complaining. So that's where DX APM helps you track the delay. Was it the browser, the server, or third-party API? So you get the exact timing, helping you, to isolate and fix the issue faster. So even before the customer, complains about the slow transaction, so when we have the APM in picture, so we'll have the complete, the end-to-end monitoring, and we know where the problem and where the delay is all about. So we can quickly figure out the root cause, the pinpoint issues by doing the code level monitoring as well. So we also support synthetic monitoring, so which means we simulate the user activity to check the performance before the real users are affected. So this is to give you architecture overview. So our architecture is designed for modern dynamic environment. As you know, it supports both on-premise and cloud, and also the hybrid. So whether your infrastructure is in AWS, GCP, Azure, or even a private data center, we can monitor it. So our agent, it collects the performance data and sends it to the centralized data lake. So it is a huge data lake where the AI and machine learning algorithms helps analyze the patterns, the anomalies, the potential root causes, and pinpoint the issues faster. So since I told you we can monitor it, it's a cloud deployment. Even if it is we are deploying in on premise, it's a microservice environment. So it's a scalable one, efficient. So it is designed in the way that it supports the microservices, containers, all in one view. So if you take it the architecture of APM, so we have an agent. If you name an agent, it may be a probes in a different monitoring technologies. So agent is something which which collects the information, which monitors the data and sends to the tenant. So when we talk about agent, so we instrument the byte code. We instrument what needs the profile kind of thing, what needs to be connected, where it needs to be sent. So those information, the agent will be based on the technology stack, whether it is the Java programming language, Java, .NET, or is it defined for the Windows based flavors, OS flavors like Windows, Unix. So we have different agent for different technology stack. So if you have a Java programming language, so which needs to be monitored, so we install the agent according to that. So when we install the agent, there may be a environment like you might be having 1,000 application or 100 application. So based on that, the agent will be communicating to the mom or the collector. So the collectors are the one which collects information from the agent. So we define cloud proxy. For example, your domain is in a local domain, and where you don't want to open the internet to the cloud SaaS. So in that case, we recommend for the cloud proxy. So when there is a thousands of agent which is reporting to, we open only the internet connection to the cloud proxy. From there, it will be communicating the SaaS. So we don't have to open the 1,000 internet communication to the server where the agent is installed. So that's where the cloud proxy comes into picture. So you have the cloud gateway, so where it will defines what type of information need to be sent to where. So it will be sending the matrices events to the collector pod, and the settings, the services related information to the mom pod. So we access those information using the tenant. Any questions you have, any doubts, feel free to ask.
No question. There it is.
Great, thank you. So when we going to the APM UI, so the UI is designed in a way, with keeping the users in the mind. So it is an user intuitive. You get a dashboard called, the experiences, where you can see your full application topology, the map view, every application, every service, every infrastructure component. You'll be able to drill down into the individual component to see, to analyze their health, their traffic, and even the metrics of that component. So it's a highly interactive, and it supports real-time updates as well, because it's hosted in the SaaS, so that the teams will be respond to any issues as they occur. So even we have the historical analysis, so you can store the information based on the historical analysis or the settings, we can define it. We also have the customizable dashboard. We have the set of out-of-the-box dashboard as well, which I will show in the end of the session. So we have an agent command center. So why do we need this? So this is a unique feature with Broadcom. So where we can control all the agent in a centralized place. So it's an UI where all the agents deployed becomes easy. So the agent command center allows you to deploy the upgrade. Even you can manage it from one place. Say for example, you have thousands of agent. If you want to upgrade it, as you go by traditional way, you need to download the agent, you need to move that to the individual servers, even if it is a Linux boxes or Windows boxes. You need to be dependent on the platform administrator of different OS platform administrators, where we'll be requesting them to copy that to the individual servers, and then we need to go there and we need to take the backup, and you'll be installing it from the scratch. So it will be a painful process. So keeping this in mind, Broadcom comes with the agent command center, where it allows you to deploy it, upgrade it all in a single go. You can select the individual agents, or you can select everything and you can upgrade it. Even when the upgrade is done, so we can also see the audit trail logs for who has done this changes with that particular agent, so that you don't have to be dependent on the platform administrator to log into the server to perform any kind of changes. So it's an efficient tool, which also lets us to track the agent health. If there is any problems, if you want to extract the agent logs, you can also do that. You can also see the deployment audits as well. So it's everything in one place, to manage hundreds and thousands of agents across the environment. As I was mentioning, this is the UI page. So you can see the agent command center. So how many agents are active right now? How many agents are active. You can see the bundles, what features, what roles, what features we have installed to that particular agent. If you want to add it, if you want to remove that feature, if you want to do any configurations, if you want to do any customization, everything you can do it. You can deploy it, you can edit it, you can upgrade it, you can see when the upgrade was happened. Even if there is any problem with the latest version of the agent, say for example, you can roll back to the previous version. That's also possible. So we have different type of agent, as I mentioned. So we have the application agent, we have the infrastructure agent, we have the universal monitoring agent. So each has individual task for that. So if you take an application agent, it provides the code level visibility, meaning you can see which functions, which methods, which classes, or which transactions are slower or failing. So we can see the detailed monitoring of that. We can see the response time, error rates, the transaction be traced from end to end, the code dependencies as well. So going with infrastructure agent, so it gives insight about your CPU, memory, disk, and also the network health of the servers. So combining the application agent and the infrastructure agent together, so they give you a correlated view, how the infrastructure is impacting the application performance. So as I mentioned, so we have agents for each platform, which is a Unix or Windows based applications. So we have a different agent for different technologies. We have infrastructure agent, with out of the box extension. Say for example, you want to monitor the F5 load balancer, or if you want to monitor the Oracle SQL databases, or if you want to monitor different type of infrastructure, so you can use this infrastructure agent with the extensions to monitor that. So this is to gain across the user, as I was explaining through you. So this is the view of how the applications are getting monitored and how the correlation happens. For example, if you want to do the cloud and on-prem correlation, as you can see, if it is an on-prem with the Azure cloud provider, so you can do the correlation with that. So you can also do the application to infrastructure correlation. You can also see the browser timing, browser render time from the end-to-end users, or if you want to see the mobile to the mainframe traces, so you can see everything in the map view, so that you know how the transaction happened, how many components are involved, which component is responsible for my failure, or the transaction is slowing down on which component. So we can easily figure it out as well. So for the cloud native environments, we have the universal monitoring agent. So they automatically discover the Kubernetes cluster, or the OpenShift containers, AWS, GCP, and more. So you don't have to manually configure each container. It's handled by the platform. So this saves a lot of time, and it gives us a full map of your cloud workloads, the relationship, the performance, how they're communicating with each other. So every metric should be given there. So you have the 3 deployment options here. So either you can use Helm chart, operator framework, or YAML files to do the configurations for the universal monitoring agent. So these are the applications we support, the clusters, the container health. So everything, the host health, everything will be monitored and reported to the SaaS environment. So the core features and functions of the APM. So when we talk about the features, the features include the analysis notebook, the assisted triage. So these may be new terminologies for you, but as we dig deeper, so these are used to automatically identify the symptoms. There might be suspects, there might be root cause of the issues. So then there is an analysis notebook. Think of it like a timeline of events with supporting evidence, when it happened, where it happened. So we'll see what happened before, during, and after the incident. It will be very, very useful for us to fix the issue quickly. So these features like analysis notebook or assisted triage combine to reduce the time it takes to to see what went wrong. If there is something wrong and we fixed it, so we can easily identify where it takes time. So as I mentioned, this is the analysis notebook. You can see the health score of my application or the transaction. You can see how many transactions completed within 1 second, 2 seconds, taking more than 2 seconds, if there is any slow calls, if there is any error transaction. So you can see if there is any problems or anomalies. So problems are something, the end users are affected, whereby the anomalies are something which is not affecting the end users, but if we are not noticing it, it might be turned into a problem on the later stage. So here we have a problem. It shows us, when it started and the duration of the problem, and it shows us the impacted experience. As I was mentioning, the experience or something, the starting point of the transaction, and the components involved in it. So you can see these are the components involved in, and this component could be the culprit. So this is a patented algorithm with APM, so it automatically analyzes and gives us the culprit who is responsible for the problem. So if you take the analysis notebook, it provides the details about the problem, as you can see, and it also projects the root cause where the culprit is. We have also filtered the map. You can see there is a map view, and to see the application, to see the performance metrics, and also it has the evidence. It's a system projected root cause, which I was talking about. So this will be automatically correlated. So to give you more insight about this, so as you can see, so the application context, the evidence timeline. So the evidence timeline gives it when it happened, where it happened, before, after, and during the issues. So it gives us the error, stalls, the unstable response time, when it happened, is there any issues with that. So you can see the difference. This is a map view and this is the evidence timeline. So when we see there is a problem with the application or the transaction, so we see with the analysis notebook, we quickly drill down into the analysis notebook. We see which component is responsible, where is the evidence, who is the culprit. So when we see there, so still we are not convinced with that. So you have the assisted triage. So assisted triage is something, we will dig deeper into that. So where we'll be seeing the where the issue is happen. So you have the authority to dig deeper to see where the source of the problem is, which line of code or the method classes is responsible for the problem. So as you can see, this is a transaction, business transaction. Once I dig deeper into that, it gives me the path of it. So the duration, the percentage of each and every transaction, the component details. It also gives me the method responsible for that. What was the method? What was the method descriptor? Resource source line. So this is the source line which is responsible for that, for the issue. So if we give this information, for example, you can export it. You can create a ticket, and once we have given it, so the developer can quickly go back to their code, and they can see the line of code, and they can see where the problem is for the slowness or error, and they can quickly mitigate the issue. So as you can see here, this is the transaction details, this is the alerts. So they can see the source here, and from the source, the developer can go back to the source code and they can see the line of code. So how are we doing this? How are we onboarding applications? So we have the capability to onboard applications. So for example, the first step with monitoring or setting up the agent is, you want to onboard an application. So we have a unique feature created in Broadcom. So it has been released in the recent versions. So where you can create your own application, you can group it based on the functionality of your application. For example, I have a Unix OS where I have been running a container. So you can select the Unix, and you can select the container based environment. Based on that, you can select the web servers or the all the technology stacks, and you can do the configurations on one single pane. Similarly, you can create one application based on the functionality and for the Windows, and you can, for example, I have a 300 to 500 applications which is running on Unix, and I have a 300 to 500 applications which is running on the Windows. So I can create one single application. So it's a one single package defining all my KPIs and all my configurations, so the profiles, everything. So I will onboard the applications and I will create one single package and I will give it to the automation team, so they can deploy it on the 300 to 500 servers on different platforms on a single go, so that the it will be automatically enable monitoring, because all the configurations I have done in the application side when I have created the application. So it's a minimal process. So once we have created the application based on the technologies, I have deployed it, enabled the monitoring. So all the agents will be reported to the agent command center. So in future, I don't have to be relied on other teams, so that I just upgrade it, downgrade it, use the agent command center to perform any of the actions using the UI remotely. So we also have the metric groupings, alerts, the calculators, differential analysis. So the management modules, as the name defines, it's the configuration files that defines, how the metrics are grouped, how the alerts are triggered, the how dashboards or reports are built. So the management module contains the metric groupings, alerts, calculators, differential analysis. So it's a kind of a rule book, because it has the pre-packaged rule books. So they tell that how to treat different parts of your application. For example, one module might monitor a web application, group it metrics into tiers, define performance thresholds. We can define the alerts, to send where it needs to be sent to. So we can define the management module based on the application, so that we can also create one in the testing environment. And if we want to copy that to the production, so we can just copy the management module and we can set up based on the application. So that's where the management module comes into picture. So you don't have to create each and every thing for each and every application. You create one for one application. Even in test environment, you can migrate it to the production without any issues. So similarly, when you go to metric groupings, so these are the logical collections of the related metrics, the similar metrics. This is often used for the visualization or alerting or reporting. So metrics can be like it allows you to group similar metrics, like the CPU metrics, all the database metrics, or all the error rate metrics of different applications into logical collections. So this will make us easier to visualize the trends, to trigger the alerts, or even if we can build focused dashboards without being lost in the hundreds of individual values, so that we can group it based on the, as I mentioned, only to related to the database, only to related to the error metrics, or only to related to CPU or memory. So that's where logical grouping comes into picture for the metric grouping. Similarly, calculators. So when we use calculators, this is a logical component. It allows us to create the derived metrics, we call it. So if you want to apply some mathematical rules to the existing metrics, so we can use the calculators, and you can use the customized alerting for that as well. So for example, why we need this? Everybody have that question. Why we need to use the calculators? So sometimes the default metrics which is in the APM, which don't tells us the full story, right? So let's say you want to calculate the error rate as a percentage of all the transactions, right? So you can use the calculator to divide the number of errors by total transactions and multiply by 100. So you will get the new custom metric, that's more meaningful to your team as well. So it might be a error rate, it might be average response time, it might be SLA violation count as well. So moving on to the differential analysis. So differential analysis, as the name implies, so it used to compare the current performance to the baseline. So we might be knowing about the baseline, right? So
Prasath, we lost your voice. Prasath, we lost your voice. Do you hear us? Prasath, are you here? Prasath, are you here? Do you hear us? Prasath, testing 1, 2, 3. Prasath, do you hear us? Team, on the webinar, can you please confirm that you heard or you don't hear the presenter? Because on my side, I don't see the share content, and I don't hear Prasath. Okay, thank you, George. It seems that Prasath. Yes, thank you for the confirmation. Seems Prasath has a network connection issue. Let's wait till he return. Okay. Thanks everybody for the confirmation. Okay. Prasath left the room, so it seems it's a technical issue, network issue on his side. Okay, the recording is running, so you can start or you can continue your presentation.
Great. Let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, we see. Yes.
So can someone know where the I got dropped off or something like that? So that I can continue from there. Sorry for the interruption.
So this is a very good question. 2:30. You left 2:30. So 2 minutes missing. We saw this presentation.
Okay.
Actually, that was open. So please continue with this.
Okay. Great. So as I was going through the metric groupings, the alerts, calculators, and differential analysis. So each has individual role to play. So we have the management modules, so where we have the configuration files that is associated with the metric grouping, alerts, calculators, differential analysis. So where if you have a test environment and a production environment, and if you want to move from one environment to another environment, you can use the management module just to copy and paste it to the production. So you have the metric grouping, alerting, calculators, and differential analysis all all the settings and the configurations will be moved to the production. You don't have to go and create it one more time. So it's a single package kind of thing. Even the metric grouping, it's mostly used to it's logical collections of all the related metrics, as I was mentioning. So the calculators are something, the logical components, where you create the metrics. Let's say you want to calculate the error rate for the percentage of all the transaction. So you use the calculator to divide the number of errors by the total number of transactions. So you have the new custom metric for that, which is more meaningful as well. So we have the differential analysis. it's like baseline, but we compare it with the baseline. So either the baseline is historical or dynamically calculated. So we used to detect the anomalies or the performance issues as well. So when we have the differential analysis, so it's if what's happening now, if it is if there is a transaction, to understand whether it is a normal one or abnormal one. So for example, if you're doing a login, if it takes usually if it takes 100 milliseconds, so if it is taking more than 5 seconds to log in, so APM detects the spike, and based on the historical patterns in the alerts us, so it's like having a smart assistant to see if there is a abnormal behavior with my application. So basically, the deviations or how it is captured is, for example, you have a batch process running every day, every night. So the application or the APM knows that it's a known process, and every day 2 o'clock the batch process runs. Because of that, the spike happens. Whereby if something happens in a different time, for example at 6 o'clock around the evening, if something bad happens, so it knows that the differential analysis will automatically alert us, telling that by this time there was no previous historical patterns observed, so there is a spike with that, which is seems to be abnormal. Please have a look into that. So that's a something you have in the customization with the differential analysis. Okay, moving on to the alarm analytics. So where we have the overview of my alarms, like the alarm type, the alarm ID, the alarm message, when it created, when it last updated. So we don't have to create alarm for every instance. So it will be updated every time with the same alert until it is closed. So you can open a ticket with that, you can integrate with it, or if you want to do the remediation action. Say for example, my log is getting filled due to that my drive is full, so I need to delete some files. That's or else the application might get crashed. So in that we can create a workflow and we can attach to the alarm. So we can define multiple workflows as well, so that whenever workflow, we can create an assign a policy to that as well. So whenever that is convinced, so the conference will be raised from 34 to 35, the next instance. So every time for this alert, it will try to execute the highest number of percentage remediation workflow, and if it's success, it will increase that, or else the next one will be the executed. So similarly, we can have multiple workflows as well. Or if you want to see the isolation view from where the source of the issue is, say for example, from the alarm analytics, you need to go back to the page where the issues happen. So you can go to the APM, AXA, or if you go back to the network related component, or if you want to go back to the infra component, you can go back anytime as well. So it's a centralized view for to view all the alarms from different the tools, different competitors as well, all in one pane of glass. So that's about the APM. So when we go back to the AXA, app experience analytics, so while we have seen with APM, it shows us the system behavior. AXA, the AXA shows us how the user feels, the end user experience. So it helps us the answer the questions like where are the users dropping off, what's causing the frustration to them, what's the average time to complete a task. AXA tracks all these user sessions, screens, crashes, behaviors, and also the product and support teams, they have the more insight about where we need to improve the user experience. So some of the key features and metrics are the tracking the user journey. So we can track the end user journey across the application to see which pages, which component he's traversing through. So we can quickly see where the users are interested on. We can also do the session replay. Session replay in the sense, it will the AXA will take the screenshots of each and every pages, but it will mask the important or the critical information. Say for example, you have the username, password, and all those stuff, critical information and sensitive information. This will be masked. So it will take it will track the each and every information. Based on that, it will create an automatic video for that from out of it, so that it seems to be a video, but it won't take a video. It will collect the screenshot from the user's touch point, x-axis, y-axis on the mobile screen. So it automatically captures the video and sends to us, so that we can see what the user was exactly doing with the application and where the issue happened, from which point, where the x-axis, y-axis he touched it. Because of it, the crash or the error happen. We can see that. We can also see the load times. We can see what kind of error, the error based on the geographical location or based on the application or based on different terminologies we can say. So we can segregate that as well. So how is the conversion rate? So for example, I want to see the business outcome. If we go with every application, there is an outcome for that. So basically we have the business revenue generating out of each and every application. Say for example, if it is an e-commerce website or if it is a banking application, so we need to see the business outcome or business revenue out of it. So I want to see whether the user is only trying to browse through the product or he's really interested in buying my product or not. So we can track from, for example, adding the item to the cart and checking out the cart. So we can see that the conversion rate of that as well to see the business revenue out of it, generated out of it. So as I was mentioning, we can see from the application flow how the users interact with my application. What are the components? As you can see, we have a exchange application. It's a ticket booking application for an event or a movie or a football or cricket matches. If you want to book it, so you can use the exchange application. So from exchange, the user is trying to log in or browse through the product, viewing the cart, logging in after some time. So you can see how the traverse is happening. So you can see the number of sessions, if there is any drops, if there is any crashes. So you can see 3 in one go. So these is 4 sessions, out of which there was 1 drop off from product. This is the initial session. If I hover over, it will give me more and more insight about that. So there was 1 drops here, so we can drill down here and see why the drop off is happening. If there is any crashes, we can click on it and we can see the patterns of the screen as well. So how are we onboarding this web or mobile application? As I was mentioning, so we have in this AXA, we have the website monitoring or mobile application monitoring. If it is a mobile, whether it is an Android or iOS, so we can monitor each and every application. So how are we going to monitor that? So for each and every application, we have a profile. In that profile, we know what need to be monitored and the monitor data where need to be sent to. In this case, we'll be sending it to the AXA. So for example, I want to capture the screenshot. Whenever you install any application, it will ask for certain permissions, permission to camera, permission to the location, permission to the several of your the informations. So whether the user permits that, so based on that all information will be collected. Similarly, when we onboard it, so onboarding is pretty simple. So we have multiple techniques. You can, if you have an APK file for Android, so you can just upload it. When you upload it, we select the profile, what information need to be collected, whether it's a CPU monitoring, disk monitoring, memory monitoring, whether you want to monitor the cookies of the application, whether you want to take the screenshot of your of the user activity, whether you want to track the location of my user. So how frequently you need to send the information to the tenant. So everything will be given selected in the profile. So once we upload the APK and wrap it up, so this profile will be wrapped up to the application. So for example, you have an e-commerce website for of like Amazon or anything. So we just collect information from the developer and we wrap it up with the profile. So we give it back to them for testing and the certification, and they do the testing and they upload it to the App Store or the Play Store, so that once the end users download and they start monitoring it, so all the data will be collected and sent to the AXA, so that they can use for the future the performance issues, or they can track down where the users drop off is happening. So this is how we do the real-time monitoring. As you can see, so there is a application with a version. So this is based on the sessions. So how much time the session was active, from which location the user was trying to access the application. So what was the mobile, what's the network, what carrier he's using. So if there is any feedback from some applications, whenever it is crashing, so it has the option to send a feedback to the developer. So if there is any feedback, we can see that from them. So you can see the request, response, CPU, disk, memory usage of my application. So the screenshot, so based on the screenshot, you can play it as a video here. So you can see where the drop off, where the issue happened. So you can see if there is any app crashes, HTTP errors, or the JavaScript errors. So you can see based on the platforms. So whether it is an Android, iOS, or web application, so you can see the devices, based on it, whether it is an Apple, Samsung, or any other device, or is it based on the carrier. So we can see, so my application is crashing because it's an Android, or it is only happening with the iOS application, or if it is based on the device, so Apple device or Samsung with Android, Motorola, or me. So it may be any devices. So is it happening based on the platform? So which platform? So is it only to the device? Which device? Or is it based on the carrier? So if there is any crashes, errors, so we can quickly isolate where the issue is, why is happening. Is it only for the particular geographical location users, or particular platform users, particular device users, or the particular carrier users? So this level of insight in depth, you can see that. Even you can see the signal strength. Even you can see the battery at that time. If there is any signal low due to which the application was not accessible by the end user, or the drop off happened due to that, so you can also see that as well. So we have fun business activity monitoring, as I was mentioning. So you have an e-commerce website where the end user is trying to add the item to the cart. He's just doing that, but he's not checking out the product. So this business activity monitoring will helps us track the purpose of it. The funnel analysis helps us to see where the users drop off. So like the shopping cart, as I mentioned, or in the registration flow, or this flow analytics will lets us to see how the users are navigating through my application, where they pass, or where they leave or drop off. So these insights will be very, very helpful for us to lead to the UI improvements or the performance optimization, or we can use it for the higher user retention as well. So this is what I was talking about, the user behavior or the funnel analytics. So this is what the drop off. So we can drill down into here to see uh, why the drop off happened. So what's the actual purpose? So the path the user tried to access it, you can see the funnel analysis. So here the drop off happened. Why it happened? Is it based on the geographical location, or the device, or the Wi-Fi signal, or the carrier signal? So we can easily see where it is happening, why it happening. So similarly, we can set up alerts, based on the thresholds, anomalies, or as I was mentioning, the patterns, like the differential analysis. So we can also build the customized dashboard showing the the KPIs or SLAs, or even we can track the business transactions. For example, monitor how many users completed a purchase, or how long it takes to generate a quote. So these metrics tie performance to the business outcomes, as I was mentioning. So we can do that alerting and notification as well. So we have the out of the box dashboards, based on the technology stack. If you are using Java, .NET, Python, PHP, or based on the infrastructure, FI load balance, or if you want to have all in one place. So we have the built-in dashboards available. So we have the real-time data visualization for that. You can also easily customizable the data as well. So that even if you want to customize it, you want to see all in one pane of gas, you can also customize that, because we use the inbuilt Grafana for that. So you can customize the dashboards, and you can build your own dashboard as well. So that brings us to the end of the session. We have seen how DX APM gives you full stack observability, how AXA gives you visibility into user experience, together how to provide a complete performance monitoring solution. So thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to take any questions you have now. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to see a demo. I don't think we have time permit for that.
We have, absolutely. So, for the audience, if you have any question, feel free to share your questions on the chat window, addressing publicly or for us, for Prasath and for me. And meanwhile, Prasath, if you think, feel free to do the demo, because we have approximately 10 minutes. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
up to you.
So
I
will give
pleasure
you.
if you do any demonstration, because I like it, and I believe
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
audience also
Because
likes.
it was only theoretical, so I just want to give you a quick overview on the
Sounds great. Sounds great.
yeah, quick intro as well. Just give me a minute.
Mhm. Okay, meanwhile, a question came that on the mobile app, do you need to install any agent on the mobile device?
No, absolutely not. So as I mentioned, I will go through the session as well. When you go with the mobile application, you will upload the APK file. For example, if you have an APK file, you will request from the developer and we just upload it. When we are uploading it into the AXA portal, so it will wrap up with the profile. The profile contains what information we need to collect from the end user and where it need to send to. In this case, we'll be sending to the AXA, right? So the collect information, what information is to be collected, where it need to send to AXA. So once we have done it, we'll give it back to the developer. They can test it, they can do the certification and all those stuffs, and they can upload to the centralized portal where the customers can download, like App Store or Play Store. So this is the O2 page, the operational observability. So this has the APM and AXA embedded into that. So let me go to the manage application, where I told if you have 300 to 500 application, you can create one single bundle. So you can create new application. Once you have created it, you can group it based on the functionality. So based on the functionality, you can group the application. You can see I can give a tier name. Tier name is based on the functionality of my application. So I can select the operating system, whether it is a Windows or the Linux. So I can select the technology stack, whether it is a Java, .NET, and I can select it if it is a container based or not. I can select it. So if I have database, I can select that, and I can set the name, I can set the username and password. I can do the pre-built information here, the configurations. If I have a web server, Apache, or F5 load balancer, Nginx, so I can define that as well. If you have any messaging systems, if you want to do any additional monitoring, Prometheus log monitoring, you can do the configurations. If you want to do any additional monitoring, like if you want to do the API gateway monitoring, we realize the remote host monitoring, Oracle EBS monitoring, or ASM, Cloud Foundry, AWS, Azure, GCP, or if you want to do the host monitoring for the Unix, where you will be monitoring the CPU disk memory. So all those informations, you can pre-configure it, what information needs to be collected, those informations. And if you want to add the agent controller, this is where it is useful for managing the agent remotely. And you can see the summary, what information we have done, and you can download it in single go. This is one example of how to create one single package. So as I was mentioning, we have the agent command center. So if you want to download the agent for a single application, you can also do that. Let me give you, so these are the application agent based for Unix and Linux flavors, the application, infra agent, cloud application agents. For Windows, we have similar kind of application agent and the infra agent. So these are the out of the box extensions we have. You can do the file beat monitoring, API gateway monitoring, Oracle, SQL, Redis, web server monitoring, DB2, remote host monitor, WebLogic monitoring, host monitoring, SNMP monitor, Oracle EBS, Microsoft 365, F5 load balancer monitoring, MongoDB, Oracle RAC, SAP, Snowflake, vRealize. So these are the out of the box extensions similar to that. Or if you want to download on a single go, you can also do that. So let me show an example. So these are the agents we have. So I have one application. So I can deactivate it, delete it, copy and move it. I can see the package. I can create the reports as well. So let me do it for the application agent. So if I want to update it, you can see this is the version. If I want to update it, I can update it. So these are the bundles I have currently with my application. If I want to edit it, so this is the one I was talking about. If you have 500 plus agent, if you want to upgrade it, downgrade it, you want to have the audit trail, so you can have everything one single pane of glass. So you can see here, Unix. So I want to add a feature, for example. So I want to add the log correlation. So it also gives me information about whether I need to restart the process, or whether it applies on the runtime itself where no restart is required. If you want to do the configuration, you can do it from here itself. For example, if I want to add it, I can add it, or if I want to remove that, I can also remove any features. If I want to remove the feature, I can remove it. So similarly, if I want to configure anything, I can do the configurations here and apply that. You don't have to log in, so you can see everything here. you want to edit it, you can edit it and give the apply. So once you have successfully done that, so you have the audit trail for that. So who has done what, when it was done. So you can see all this information. Similarly, you can see that you want to update it, you want to see edit it. So this is a unique feature we have. And similarly, if you want to deep dive into the application performance monitoring, as I was telling you, so this is a starting point of my transaction. So this is the application which I'm monitoring. I have problems and anomalies. So these are the transaction, these is my health score. So even the user who has zero knowledge of my application can just go there and they can see where the issue is, where the problem is all about. So let me open it in the analysis notebook. So it gives me the impacted experience and the application or the infra components which is responsible for my problem. Let me open it. So it gives me the error message. So these are the error messages. This is a map view. This is the evidence timeline when it happened. So also it gives me the metrics tree. So these are the 5 blame point metrics I have. If you want to see the query level performance, you can see that as well. So to this, you don't have to install any agent because from the front end till the back end, the query performance will be automatically monitored without the DB agent. But we just collect the performance of the query, not the output of the query. So similarly, if I want to do the performance comparison, how my component was performing over a period of time, preset I can do it with 15 minutes, 1 hour, or how it was performing yesterday and today, how the performance is. I can see what this component is all about because I have selected the culprit, right? So what this component is all about, all this information. I can see all the business transactions here. So I can sort it out based on the URL, name, timestamp. In this case, if I want to toss based on the trace errors, I can do that. I can click on it. So this takes me to the analysis. From the analysis notebook, it takes me to the assisted triage, where I can upload the trace JSON, or I can export this as well and give it to the developer. So here I can see there is a problem. So that is the error message. So the error message gives me that preceding line from there is a constraint, unique constraint violated. So this is the exception which is being caught. So this is a line of code, Java 494. 494 is the source code. So what is the method? What's the instrumentation level? What's the language? What's the method? What's the method descriptor? Resource name, scheme. So the IP host, all this information.
Meanwhile, a question came that can
Yeah.
I export the architecture transaction flows into CASD CMDB?
You can't do that, because you can maybe take a snapshot, but you can't export that. You can export the issues. So here, we can also see that the backend calls, this is a query. So this is a violation. You can see the query. This is the exception which is being caught. So this is a resource name. So what was the method? Execute update. So it was trying to update it, but it was not happening because of this issue. So even the L1 analyst with no knowledge of the application, they can, with two simple clicks, they can quickly see where the root cause of my problem is all about. So we have the self-monitoring of the agent as well. Most of the organization complain that or the application owner complain that installing the agent will be consuming the most of my resources. So where we have the agent self-monitoring, if you want to alert, if you want to see how is the CPU heap memory of my agent, how many resources have been collected, what's the GC time, how many metrics collected, how many applications are currently monitored with my agent. Even a single agent can monitor multiple applications. So I can also monitor that if it is up and running fine or not. So we can create an automation. If it is down, it will automatically restart, and we can see the information as well. So when we go to the triage, so one of the feature we have the component dashboard. So again, if an L1 analyst or a business person, so they comes in, they want to see whether all my components are up and running. So they can come here to the component dashboard and they can see everything is green or not. So they can also see the infrastructure as well. So if everything is green or not, they can quickly see there. And if there is something red or amber, they can quickly drill down and they can see that as well. So the topology map, this is automatically created. So everything whichever we're monitoring, so all the components will be automatically. So you can create a perspective and you can see that information. Maybe end user application perspective. I can use a filter and I can see my application, how it is communicating. So you can see there are 265 components grouped, is based on the functionality of the components. It will be grouped automatically. So if I expand it, I can see all the 6 components inside that, how it is communicating. So the automatic grouping happens. The backend solutions, how it is communicating. So we can see all this information. You can see there is a database call. The application is talking to the database. This is database, Oracle DB. So how many transactions, the metric process, we can see that information as well. Just a minute, let me give you an example of the AXA as well, how to onboard the applications you're asking.
Meanwhile, if you have any question, feel free to ask, because within 2 minutes we need to close the session, or 1 minute.
So there was a user who was asking us, how to creating the application, right? So you can see here, we can upload the application and we can wrap it up. So this is the profile I was talking about. The startup time, the sessions, the screen captures, if you can enable or disable, errors, disk space, CPU, disk memory, the mobile transactions. So how frequently we need to collect the data. So the storage on the device, we need to use it. Like 100 MB, we can define that as well, 200, 300. So, the location, you can always on app resume. So these are the information, we can select it. We can save this. Once it is saved, once we upload it and, wrap it up, you can see here, we can download the wrapped file. So once it is wrapped up, so it will have all the performance which needs to be collected. It will be sent there. So the business activity configuration, which I was talking about, the revenue generating task, we can create one easily. We can create which part of my application is necessary for that, and we can see that information. So similarly for IIS, we have certain definitions. We can use the DX APM coding, or for hybrid or the web app. So web app is something, web transaction monitoring. So this is a snippet. We can copy it and we can insert into the head tag of the HTML head tag, so that we monitor that. Similarly, we have the profile for that as well.
Prasath, we need to close the session soon. Do you have any Excite feature that you want to show for the audience?
It's good. I'm good, Kalman. So if they have any questions, I can reply back to them even with the email. I have no issues. I'm glad to reply back to them.
Okay, let's wait a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so as I see, no additional question arrived, so we can close the session. In the next few days, we will release the recorded version of this session. So you can expect on this week the email, or in the next week. Prasath, thank you very much for your presentation. Thanks for the attention on the audience side. I hope the delivered content was useful. If you have additional question, or you need a one-on-one meeting, for example, because you want to go deeper into this product, you want to learn, you want to know more technical details about the product, then feel free to contact with me, and I will involve the related colleagues, and they can guide you, they can help you, they can present for you if it is necessary. So basically, this is just the beginning of the journey if the product is new for you. With the QR code, if you read with your mobile phone, you can save my contact information, so feel free to contact with me. Thank you again. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Take care. Bye.